Int'L TV.
Welcome to TJMTV Daily News Update, your one-stop channel for everything news and gist happening all over the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time this video got to you. And if this is your first time of seeing any of our videos, please don't forget to go a step further, like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be one of the first persons to know whenever we drop a new video. Now let's take you straight up to the main news.
Area as well as politician Olufemi Aino. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Thank you for joining us in TVC Breakfast. Now, let's begin with issues bordering on, how Nnamdi Kanu was rearrested and brought into the country. That's where a lot of people, that's one aspect that has generated a lot of reactions. A lot of persons are questioning the legitimacy of the procedure adopted in bringing him into the country. We've seen the reactions from his family, but government insists that it was a collaborative effort between Nigeria's security operatives and some other intelligence operatives, and that was how they were able to, bring Nnamdi Kanu into the country, or rearrest him, so to speak. But then let's look at the legitimacy. Let's help us understand what is the accepted mode of rearrest in such a way that it doesn't breach a person's human rights.
Yes, it's not the person's human rights per se. It's international law.
International law. Right.
And I must say this, it's quite, and I share the view that, look, what the Nigerian government did in bringing Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria is extraordinary. Extraordinary in so many sense. What they are saying is that it was due to collaboration between the Nigerian government and other agencies. Well, that is the government marking their homework. And that's not the way to go. And that is something we need to condemn. I'm not saying we shouldn't bring Nnamdi Kanu to justice, but let us follow the proper procedure. And the proper procedure is to have a proper extradition hearing, whereby Nnamdi Kanu will be able to explain to a proper court that, look, I must not be extradited to Nigeria because of this reason or whatever. And there's one important point. Listening to the Attorney General and others, nobody has shown us an extradition order that this man should go back to Nigeria and face his criminal trial. And the extradition is a formal process whereby you bring a fugitive who is running from justice from one country back to that country to go and face trial or serve the punishment. And I used the word formal. It is not something you do through the diplomatic maneuvering.
Right.
It is not something you do by just going there, you pick the person, you put him in the plane, and then the moment they wake up, they are in Nigeria. And in this case, it is very concerning that even in Kenya, the brother said he was picked in Kenya.
Yes.
That is a credible source. Let's believe the brother. Let's leave others who are saying maybe it was a honey trap or a sugar babe and all this cock and bull story. But even in Kenya, they have a law there. And that law is called Extradition Commonwealth Countries Act. And it has been there since 1968. And for you to extradite, once you pick that fugitive, the best thing you do, it must apply in the magistrate court in Kenya. And the offense in which you want to extradite must be an extradition offense. Kanu is facing terrorism charge in Nigeria. If you look at the Commonwealth Act in Kenya, terrorism is not an extradition offense. And also, most countries, they don't extradite people if the offense is such that has a political character. One. Two, they don't extradite people if the person, if convicted of that offense in that country, is going to face death penalty or capital punishment. Even in the UK, you cannot extradite people to a country where they are going to face death penalty to start with, the only way you can do it is to get assurance from the receiving nation that, look, if you extradite him, we are not going to impose the death penalty. If that assurance is not there, they won't. And also, another point is that if you are extraditing them to a country where they are going to face degrading and inhuman treatment, the courts in that country will not allow you to extradite. The Nigerian government, they are aware of all this. That's why they engage in whatever they might have done to get him to, because they know once they bring him before the court, there will be a lot of legal arguments here and there, and Kanu may not come here. And also, it is possible for Mr. Kanu to argue that, look, the only reason why they want me to come to court, because I'm agitating from separation. There are a lot of issues in Nigeria, this and that. They are punishing us because of what has happened in the past. We are being marginalized. This. So when you look at all that, then it is possible for the court to rule that, look, this offense has a political character, and there might be other.
So could this be why he wasn't picked up in the UK, as a lot of persons thought?
Well, if they pick him in the UK, he won't come to Nigeria in a million years. I can tell you that because I'm a solicitor there. Number one, the Human Rights Act forbids you under Article 3 sending people to a country where they are going to face inhuman degrading treatment. The prison condition in Nigeria is not something to write home about. The legal justice in Nigeria is something that doesn't move in a very punctilious way. That in the sense that cases can last for years. You know, you're talking about petroleum bill that has been there since so many years. You see, when you look at all that, they won't. And you will not, and to give yourself the benefit of hindsight, there has been a persistent attempt to extradite Alison Disiani from the UK. Up to today, what happened? There has been a persistent attempt to extradite Julia Assange from the United Kingdom to America or Switzerland to face this with the allegation against him. Up to today, it hasn't happened. So the United Kingdom will not. That's why they did not even make attempt. The only thing, what they did is to look for a friendly country or find a way to lure him to get to that country so that they can pick him. And I shared the brother's statement when he said, look, there is no other word for this. This is what they call rendition, whereby you pick the person, they get disoriented. In the dark world, there are a lot of things that...
Well, we can still say that we are assuming, because government hasn't come out to give us the full detail.
Yes.
We are hoping that government still brings up, give us the full detail, because a lot of Nigerians are interested in knowing how they were able to rearrest him, the process involved. But then let's move forward for want of time. Now, the UK is obviously interested in this case and are seeking clarification with regards to that, and saying that they can offer or are willing to offer Nnamdi Kanu consular assistance. And I'm wondering if this can put a spin on the case.
Well, I don't think it can put a spin per se, because if you look at Nnamdi Kanu has dual nationality. He's a Nigerian citizen and he's a British citizen as well. If he renounce, sorry, that's the right word. If he renounce the Nigerian citizenship, he will get a full consular assistance. Because, you see, under the Vienna Convention of 1963, you as a Nigerian citizen, if you travel abroad and you have problem, and the police arrest you, the first thing they will do is that, is there somebody you would like to contact? Yeah. If there is nobody, they will put you through to the welfare officer at your high commission or embassy so that you speak to the welfare officer, because the embassy are under a duty under that convention to give you a consular assistant. Being a British citizen, you will get a limited consular assistant because he has two nationality. That is one. But if you renounce the Nigerian nationality, then he will get full consular assistance. And that can involve hiring a lawyer on his behalf. But what will happen, why they use the word limited? Why I'm using the word limited now is because, one, they will get a consular officer who will attend court to make sure there is a fair trial. They will make sure he has access to his lawyers. Then they will make sure that, look, the judge is going to do the trial, listen to him and what have you. So that's what they are saying, and they have an obligation to do that under Article 5 of the Vienna Convention. But having said that, if he now renounces British nationality and renounces the Nigerian nationality, that can cause all sorts of legal argument because he becomes a stateless person. And the Nigerian government will probably have a problem because they are under obligation, under international law, to prevent statelessness. So what they can do, if the Kanu choose to renounce Nigerian nationality, they will say, no, they are not going to accept it. You are still a Nigerian, and we have the right to bring you to trial. So it goes on and on. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so the government is saying that he and his conspirators are going to face the full wrath of the law. And, you know, when the government was speaking yesterday, they talked about his lavish lifestyle and that they have a treasure trove of information on the IPOB leader as well as his conspirators as well. And the question on the lips of some Nigerians is the lavish lifestyle being mentioned and some of this information, are this admissible in court?
That's where the problem lies. Number one, this is a non-life. What the charge against him is one of these lifestyle offenses where you are dealing with a drug dealer who engage in money laundering because they always live a lavish lifestyle, live in a big mansion, riding all this expensive car, gold chain, and what have you. Now, that this is a terrorism. It may well be. What they are going to say is that, look, fund has been going into the account and is using that fund to get weapon here and there. And now you will realize that they've picked his phone. And I'm glad you used the right word, treasure trove. Once you pick the phone, you pick the laptop, that can lead you to so many people who this person has been communicating with. And they were going to carry out what is called cell phone analysis. And when you do the cell phone analysis, if you buy the phone in 1960 or 1970, we can, once they do the cell phone analysis, we can see all the texts you have sent right from day one. And it will show the people you've been communicating with. And normally, you know, as I do, that, look, sometimes when you want to pick some of these criminals, once they move from here, you will know they've moved to Ibadan because the telephone masts which they are using can give you picks that, and from there you can trail them. But what is concerning is that Nnamdi Kanu, I don't think is a stupid person. Once you have a problem of this nature and you want to travel, are you going to use your real identity? Most of his contemporaries, what they do is to use assumed identity because they know the security agencies are after them. They are trailing them here and there. And also, who are you communicating with? Look, why one must commend the Nigerian government in a way for being able to trail him. They might have lured him using one of these kinky ladies with flamingo legs that, look, come down, we need to see you, blah, 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 I want to befriend you. And then, so when they do that, it is called honey trap, where you use a woman to get them. Or the alternative, maybe you do what is called a target monitoring. You are not monitoring Nnamdi Kanu per se. You look for somebody very close to him that, look, on every important day in his life, this person is there. When he had his baby, the person was there. When he addressed the media, this person was there. When his father died, this person was very instrumental. So this is somebody who we know where he's been hiding. So let's leave him. Let's focus on that person. Then when you trade that person, that can lead you to him. And it's just why it's unfortunate the circumstances, but ideally it is right for him to face justice.
Now, government is, because a lot of Nigerians have been calling for a fair hearing, fair trial. And the government has again reassured Nigerians from the statement it made yesterday that it's going to give Nnamdi Kanu a fair trial, because that was what he got before he jumped bail, according to them. But for you, in your context, what would be fair hearing, fair trial? Because a lot of persons are concerned that perhaps this could fuel the agitations we have seen in the southeast.
Let me deal with the first aspect. You see, if Kanu is convicted of treason, he's going to face the death penalty. That is the law. But it has never happened in Nigeria before. there might be political intervention. Election is coming, very soon some people will turn this into a campaign slogan that, look, once we get to power, we are going to pardon him, this and that, so as to get vote. So before the politician setting. And the another problem is that, don't forget, President Buhari and the Buhari government is somebody looking at his watch right now because they have a few months left. If care is not taken, if they can't see this through during the lifetime of this administration, nobody knows what is going to happen in 2023. But when you talk about a fair trial, you see, a fair trial is not about human rights. It's about a fair process or processes, and which that will involve, and we must, let me reverse a bit. We must commend the Nigerian government. Now he arrived in the country, they are arraigned him before the court. It is possible for them not to tell us anything about him. It is possible for them just to keep him somewhere, and then people will be agitating if he has committed any offense, bring him before the court. At least they arrange him in court promptly. That should be commended. But what the fair trial will connect at this stage is, one, they must give him access to his lawyer. That is very important. And the judge must give him sufficient time to prepare his defense. That is the problem with the Nigerian system of justice. They bring them to court, then the judge said it's going to be back-to-back trial, in which case the defense will need access to him. This is a guy who has been through a lot, irrespective of his conduct. So the lawyers need to see him. That involves the fair trial, and at the same time they must give him an opportunity to explain himself. So all these are very, very vital and germane to bring him to justice.
All right, we must thank you for your time, solicitor in the UK and Nigeria, as well as politician Olufemi Aino, for your time on the program.
Yes, thank you for
so
the
much.
time. Yeah.
All right.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us till the end of this video. But before we go, we just want to let you know that we're also on Facebook and on Instagram at DJMTV. Also check out our website at www.djmtv.news. There we drop news 247 non-stop. Do not forget that you could also place your advert with us here on DJMTV News, and be rest assured that your business will get to the desired market. Well, so we'll come your way again with another edition of DJMTV Daily News Update. I remain your host, Laura Favor.
Yeah.
DJMTV.